BHF Movies YouTube channel. This is a book review section. I want to continue from where we've stopped. The title of today's the book which we have been reviewing is "Where Are the Parents?" Where are the parents? It's a great book. Like I've always said, you should try as much as possible to go to YouTube. I mean, Amazon to get Hello David book. We have over 100 of them there. And so this is book review session on where are the parents? Where are the parents? I said you can get it on Amazon. I want to say, just like as we said from the beginning, chapter 1 of the book talks about the use of words. The use of words. It's so important. We are living now in a crazy society. There's a terrible change in attitude and behavior of the youth across the nations of the earth. And so BHF is doing everything possible to try and see how we can bring back our youth to normal. We can make our youth more creative, more impactful, so that they can be able to build up the society. You must understand that the future of the nation rests upon the shoulders of the youth. I've always said in this program that the youth are the story of the future, while the elders are the story of the past. And so when you take a look at the youth, you'll be able to know how great the future will become. The last book which we review, we're contending with the dragons. But again, we are now looking at where are the parents. I want to find out and ask ourselves if the parents of this generation are actually doing the right parenting. The world always say that if you bring up a child, the way he will grow, and when he's old, the child will not depart from it. Bring up a child the way the child should grow. The child should grow, and when the child is old, he will not depart from it. So the foundation of every destiny, is the well-being of the child. From age 1 to age 12, it's a very sensitive period. Once you are able to bring up a child within this age limits, you must have helped to set up the right foundation. And it's a common knowledge, we all know that just like what the Holy Book says, when the foundation is destroyed, what will the righteous do? And so the height of the house in life is a function of the foundation. When you have a solid foundation, you can build up a strong culture. Many times in God's word, they keep talking about the soil, the foundation. Because the foundation of the home, the foundation of the child, any foundation at all, is so crucial to the building. You cannot have a meaningful building, a solid building, without the right foundation. And so the question we want to ask is, now what are the foundation now that you are laying for your children? It's so important. I remember what the book says in the book of Acts, the things that Jesus began to do and to teach. So there's first doing. So when you begin to lay a foundation as a parent where you are a drunkard, you are smoking, you are doing all kinds of things, then expect that your children will develop on that and try as much as possible to see how they can improve on this kind of evil behavior. So the foundation matters a lot. What kind of foundation do you put for your children? We see situations where we have parents now fathers now that send their children on errand to go and buy alcohol, to go and buy cigarettes. It's just a matter of time. The child also will take a sip of the alcohol, will take a sip of the cigarette, because it's what you sent him to buy on a regular basis. I remember many years ago, probably around 95 around 96, 97, I used to went to visit a friend. I went there, about 3 of us went there with a lady. The person I'm working with then, we just followed her to go and see her friend. And during the process of discussion, that's how we find out that this woman now, she says in first act then, she will give food stuff to her 16 years old. She will give food to to her 16 years old daughter, so that the daughter would take to the boyfriend in the solo. The boyfriend was the girl was around 16 years old then. Years ago, we didn't see it. I didn't see it as anything, but much later, I begin to think what will become of that child if she's the one that is helping the mother to take food to her boyfriend, the mother's boyfriend. Then she was 16. Then know for sure that she will grow up and end up becoming more wayward and useless like the mother. And so we've seen a lot of situations like that, a lot of situations. Like that is the foundation. We are complaining today. What foundation have you laid down? Have you been able to lay the right foundation for your children? Have you been able to lay the right foundation? Because you will always build, your child will build on the foundation that you've laid. Your child will build on the foundation that you've laid. Which means if you lay the wrong foundation, your child will build on that foundation. I remember the same period of time also, around 97, 98, if I'm not mistaken. I went with my friend then, Tony Omona. He was a businessman. It was the kind of business we used to call guy those days. So I went with him to Ajegule then to see some of his friends. He had a lot of money then. And we got to where we want to see his friend. We saw that a girl there was fighting with the mother. And upon investigation, one of the things the girl said was that the mother took her boyfriend. So there was this fighting that was taking place because the mother had taken the boyfriend of the daughter. That was the cause of the fighting then, years ago. So we are blaming the youth. But what kind of parents do we have? What kind of parents brought up this kind of youth? What kind of parents brought this kind of youth? So I've seen things, many things. I mean, I'm just giving an example of the things I've seen. That same period also used to have. I know a lady then. She has boutique, doing so well. She went with her boyfriend to hotel. This woman has about 4 children, if I'm not mistaken. 4 children. And she went with her boyfriend to the hotel, and not quite too long, the boy took her clothes and soaked the clothes in the. And one of the reasons why he did it, because the lady has been promised him money for a very long time. Keep promising. The only thing the lady wants to do is sex, and not more than sex. Lying to him, and didn't fulfill her promise. That's why he soaked the clothes, soak it completely in the water. And not quite long, when she was leaving the hotel that very day, she left with the bedspread and promised to give back the clothes, promised to return back the bedspread to them when she got home, because her clothes were completely wet. So what I'm trying to say is that the youth we produce these days, most times they are products of the kind of lifestyle that we've lived in the past. I thank God that God stepped in and I changed my way of life. I take a new course. If I had gotten married when I was still in massive alcohol and womanizing, you begin to wonder the kind of children I would have produced as you see, a lion will give birth to a lion. It doesn't matter. No matter how hungry an elephant is, it cannot give birth to a small elephant the size of a cat. Because it will reproduce after its kind. That's the truth of the matter. You always reproduce after your kind. And unfortunately, we are living in a crazy world where the mothers have failed. I've seen a lot of situations more than that. I mean, I know a family then in the solo that was going out with the boy to the extent that he camped the boy at home, and tried to create the impression, that the boy is a member of their church or so, if I'm not mistaken. And they camped the boy at home. And the children know because the father was not around. So the children know that the boy was camped in the house. Now, what message is the mother passing to the children? What message is the mother passing to the children? When each time the father is not around, they travel out for business, travel overseas, spends 3 months, 4 months. It is the children right now that will begin to open door for the boy to come and stay. So the sons, the daughter, they all know that their mother had a boyfriend. That's the society. That's kind of society I grew up from. Got to a stage where growing up, I began to wonder if one would be able to even get married at all, because one of the things I saw there when I was growing up was crazy. And now it has gotten worse. It will definitely get worse because the mothers, most of these people, their mothers live a crazy life. And they saw the kind of life their mother was living. And that's why they continue to live that kind of life. So that's why we must learn to always speak and talk and do what is right. And do what is right. I told you the other time that where the parents, chapter 1 is talking about words, using of words. So the things we say, the things we do are the things our children learn. So it's not rocket science. The things we do, the things we say are the things our children will always learn. Will always learn. And if we don't on time begin to speak positive words and do the right thing, we'll find out that our children will become casualties of the kind of lifestyle which we developed. It's not what you say that is important to the child, it's what you do. It's not what you say that's important to the child. I know I grew up from a good home, very good home, even though I became very, very bloody and the rest, but just like what the Bible says, when he's old, he will not depart from it. He will come back. No matter how far the child have gone, the child will always come back because they've received that training. That training is very, very important. That training is extremely important. I remember when I was in cults, there are many things I try as much as possible to handle peacefully. Yes, I was bloody and the rest, but there are things I also stopped. And I stopped those things because of the kind of training I had. I remember years ago when we were still in school, in the 90s and the rest, getting involved in call, and there was something that we were supposed to do to a guy. We burst into his room, the guy was there. I was able to monitor it, that would not go excessively. Why? Because of the kind of home I grew up from them. Yes, I deviated, but I still had the fear of God, which was instilled in me by my father then. So the question I want to leave you with, as we go through this, what kind of words do you speak? My parents then were speaking the right words to me. Yes, I was living a terrible life and the rest, but they never gave up hope. They keep speaking the right words, the right words. Nigeria we are living in today, the only thing people need to say about Nigeria is that Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is useless. As long as you keep saying Nigeria is useless, it becomes useless. We are living in this a country of about 200 million people. And if the 200 million people, the only thing the 200 million people will get to say is that the country is bad, then there's a problem. So we must learn to say and do what is wrong. This is BHF Foundation YouTube. It's a youth program. Please subscribe to BHF on YouTube. Subscribe to it and also share, like, comment, so that more and more youths and more people will begin to get into the channel as we begin to give the right kind of counsel. So we want to focus throughout this week. We'll be focusing on the parents. I'm asking this question. I will leave this question with you as we begin to round up now. Where are the parents? Because the children we have today, they all have mothers, they have fathers. The question is, where are the parents? And that's the title of this book. It's a great book. We'll go through the book review, and I want you to always go to Amazon, go through and read through the book. It will help you in bringing up your child. Where are the parents? There are some parents that are not what being called parents. They are part of the crisis that we are taking place today. I remember once, sometimes going worry. I had that situation too, where we're going out, we're going that very day, very early. We're going for a program very, very early. And we saw some girls that were coming out around 5, 6 o'clock. They were coming from club. And we were wondering what kind of girls are these. And you know what happened? The woman in the vehicle said, if you leave the girls alone, how would they get husband if they don't go to club? Can you imagine? So you want to get the kind of husband you want to marry are the ones that go to club. So you begin to wonder the kind of family that will come from. So please learn to be positive. Speak positive words concerning your children. These positive words concerning your environment, concerning your house, concerning everything around you. Be very positive with your words. Refuse to get your house, your family choked up with negative energy. Let it be positive energy regularly. Believe that things will work out well, and it will, because that's what we want to begin to speak on a regular basis. I want you to take care of yourself as we go through this book. We'll continue again tomorrow. Where are the parents? The parents should stand up and discipline and bring up the right kind of children that will not become a disaster to the society. Have a wonderful day until we meet again tomorrow. Please be positive in all your utterance. Thank you very much.